بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنون بالله صدق الله مولانا العلي العظيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما صلى الله على النبي الأمي وآله صلى الله عليه وسلم صلاة وسلاما عليك يا سيدي يا حبيبي يا رسول الله صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت يا حي يا قيوم تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا اللهم يا كريم أكرمنا بنور الفهم وأخرجنا من ظلمات الوهم ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Inshallah Azza wa Jal, today we will continue with the 179th covenant from Lawaqihul Anwar al-Qudsiyya fi Bayan al-Uhud al-Muhammadiyya. If you remember, last week we spoke about the importance of enjoining good and forbidding evil. नेकी का हुक्म देना और बुराई से रोकने के मुतालिक हमने पिछले दर्स में गुफ्तगू की थी. आज उसी दर्स का बकिया हिस्सा इंशाल्लाह आपके सामने पेश करने की साद हासिल करेंगे. The last point we made a very beautiful interpretation of the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that whenever you see a munkar, whenever you see evil, then change it with your hand, yani with force. This is obviously to do with the governors and people in positions of authority, like the king, the ruler, the leader. If you can't do that, فَإِن لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ فَبِلِسَانِهِ, then you should change the munkar, you should admonish the person doing something wrong verbally. अगर आप हाथ से नहीं रोक सकते हैं तो जुबान से उस शख्स को रोको बुराई करने से. فَإِن لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ فَبِقَلْبِهِ, अगर ये भी न कर सको, if you're not able to change the munkar with even with your tongue, verbally admonishing the person and restoring his state, then change it with your heart. What I understood this hadith to mean, and what we generally understood this to mean, is that you just feel bad about it in your heart. This is the least. وَذَلِكَ ضَعْفُ الْإِيمَانِ, we also translated this part as to be, that is the weakest part of Iman. The weakest part of Iman is what? That when you see something or someone doing wrong, you don't say anything to them, you just walk past and just feel bad about it in the heart. But what Imam Sha'rani rahimahullah, he mentions here, cites here with reference to his Shaykh Ali al-Khawas rahimahullah, is فَإِن لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ فَبِقَلْبِهِ. This qalb, to change it with the hand, is the work of the people of authority with power. To change a munkar with the tongue is the task of and responsibility of the ulama al-amilin. And to change a munkar, change something bad into something good, is the responsibility of the arifin, the Gnostics. That's what he mentions. And then he says here, the reason is this: Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, فَلْيُغَيِّرْهُ فَلَّمْ يَسْتَطِعْ فَبِقَلْبِهِ. Whenever you see something wrong, then change it with your hand, with your tongue, and with your heart. He says, how can you change something with your heart? When you walk past someone, na'udhu billah, intoxicated, drinking alcohol, doing something wrong, and you just go past and then you feel bad about it in the heart, is that going to change that person? No. So what he says, the hadith actually means فَلْيُغَيِّرْهُ بِقَلْبِهِ, actually means the last level that the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, which is actually the uppermost level of changing a munkar, is that a wali of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make tawajjuh in his heart, and then through his heart he will connect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and through this connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even without him saying anything or verbally changing the munkar or using his power, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will change the munkar himself For example, there is a person who's drinking alcohol, a wali of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala goes past, looks into his heart, makes tawajjuh to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destroys the barrels of alcohol. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reforms the state. Allah changes the state of that person. There is an inqilab, a revolution that happens in the heart of the person who is indulged in that munkar. Subhanallah. This first time I actually ever read that, what he mentioned here. Subhanallah. Adaf here, then he says Adaf does not mean the weakest. Adaf means the subtlest stage of Iman. Because remember, after Iman, what is that level that we mentioned? That comes after Iman. Iman ke baad kaun sa level aata hai? إحسان أن تعبد الله كأنك تراه فإن لم تكن تراه فإنه يراك. Worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as though you witness Him. If you can't do that, then at least have this belief that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching you. So أضعف الإيمان means the person who now is moved on to the stage of ihsan. Hence it is regarded as the subtlest part of Iman. The veil of Iman is now delicate now because he's moving to the stage of ihsan. Subhanallah. So then he mentions this incident. وَكَانَ سَيْدِ إِبْرَاهِيمُ الْمَتْبُولِيُّ رَضِيَ اللَّهُ تَعَالَى عَنْهُ يَقُولُ لِأَصْحَابِهِ. Shaykh Ibrahim al-Matbuli radiallahu ta'ala, he was a shaykh, was blind, visually impaired, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him al-ilm al-laduni, esoteric knowledge. He is the shaykh of Shaykh Ali al-Khawas rahimahullah, the grand shaykh of Imam Abdul Wahhab al-Sha'rani rahmatullah alayh. Shaykh Ibrahim al-Matbuli radiallahu anhu used to say to his companions, to his disciples, إِذَا رَأَيْتُم مُنْكَرًا فَغَيِّرُوهُ بِقُلُوبِكُمْ. Whenever you see something wrong, then change it with your heart. لَا سِيَّمَا مُنْكَرَاتِ الْوُلَاةِ وَالظَّلَمَةِ وَجُنْدِ السُّلْطَانِ. Especially the wrongdoings, the wrong actions of the governors, of the leaders, of the oppressors, of the army of the king. وَلَا تَطْلُبُوا تَغْيِيرَهُ بِالْيَدِ وَاللِّسَانِ فَيُضُرَّكُمْ. Don't ever intend to change the munkar of the leaders or the oppressors of the zalimeen or the army or the soldiers with your tongue or with your hands, because if you do so, you will incur a harm on yourself. Use hikmah and siyasa, as he mentions the word siyasa, hikmah. So what happened? وَنَزَلَ الشَّيْخُ مَرَّةً هُوَ وَالْفُقَرَاءُ تَحْتَ شَجَرَةٍ جُمَّيْزَةٍ بِنَوَاحِ الْمَطَرِيَّةِ خَارِجَ مِصْرٍ. One day the shaykh and his fuqara and his companions, the fuqara, the Sufiyan kiram, they came, rested under a tree, under a fig-like tree, in the outskirts of Al-Matariya, a province of Cairo, outside of Cairo, Kharij Abis, in the outskirts of Cairo. They went and they saw a fig-like tree and they rested underneath it. فَجَاءَ جَمَاعَةٌ مِّن مَمَالِكِ السُّلْطَانِ فَنَزَلُوا وَأَخْرَجُوا جِرَارَ الْخَمْرِ وَالْأَقْدَحِ. What happened as they were sat? Subhanallah, what happened? They came and the group from the Mamalik Sultan, from the emancipated, from the court officials of the king, the courtiers or people who are very close to the king, they came and they also sat underneath that tree and they took out barrels and jugs and goblets and glasses of alcohol. They began to drink alcohol. They began to have a party. They began to drink alcohol. فقال بعض الفقراء يا سيدي نريد نكسر جرارهم. They said, some of the Sufi Kalim said, "Oh Shaykh, oh our master, we want to break their barrels of alcohol. We want to destroy and smash those goblets of alcohol." فَقَالْ يَضْرِبُوكُمْ عُلُوَّ حِمَارٍ. The Shaykh said, don't do this, otherwise they'll hit you more than they hit a donkey. You know, they hit a donkey when they ride a donkey, they use their whip. They will strike you more than they strike a donkey. They will beat you to death. وَلَكِنْ إِنْ كَانَ لِأَحَدٍ مِنْكُمْ قَلْبٌ فَلْيَتَوَجَّهْ إِلَى اللَّهِ تَعَالَى فِي كَسْرِ جِرَارِهِمْ وَاشْتِغَالِهِمْ بِبَعْضِهِمْ. But if one of you has a pure heart, which is connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, let one of you connect his heart to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destroys their barrels of alcohol. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes them preoccupied with themselves, so they're not aware of what's happening, and in that manner you will be able to change this munkar, you will be able to reform their state, you will be able to destroy their barrels of alcohol. فَتَوَجَّهَ مِنْهُمْ فَقِيرٌ. So one of the faqir, one of the Sufiya Kiram who was sat there, he made tawajjuh through his heart to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَانْكَسَرَتْ جِرَارُ الْخَمْرِ. So automatically their barrels and their jugs and their bottles and their barrels and their goblets of alcohol smashed by themselves. He made tawajjuh to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Subhanallah. This reminds me of the incident of Shaykh Abdul-Qadir Jilani radiallahu ta'ala anhu arda, as mentioned in Qala'id al-Jawahir. Our master Sayyid Shaykh Abdul-Qadir Jilani radiallahu ta'ala, Al-Ghawth al-A'zam, Al-Jilani, Muhyiddin, Al-Baz al-Ashhab radiallahu ta'ala, was once outside. He was attending the Salatul Jumu'ah on a Friday. He went with his disciples. His son mentions this narration. He says, as we were walking towards the masjid, we saw a group of the court officials of the king, and they had barrels of alcohol with them, and they had put these barrels of alcohol on the backs of camels and horses, etc. And they were walking. The Shaykh said to them, stop. But they didn't listen to the Shaykh. The second time the Shaykh said to them, stop. They didn't listen. The third time they said, third time Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani said, if these people are not stopping, let the animals stop. Immediately the animals stopped. They went standstill. And the people who were carrying these, who were with this caravan, or this group of people who were taking the barrels of alcohol, they felt this excruciating pain in their body. They couldn't do anything. They were screeching and crying out of immense pain. And then they understood that this was because of disobedience to the Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani radiallahu ta'ala anhu arda. So they all came to Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and then they sincerely repented. And then Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani said, then go. When they opened the barrels, it was not alcohol, it was plain water. It was changed to water. It was not alcohol anymore, it was water. This is the power of the awliya of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They changed munkar. Khwaja Gharib Nawaz rahmatullah ta'ala ali, when he camped at a place underneath on a piece of land which belonged to the Raja of that time, Prithvi Raj, Rai Pitora. So they said, the people didn't allow him to sit, and said, this is where the camels sit. Shaykh Khwaja Gharib Nawaz rahmatullah say, okay, if this is the place where the camels sit, then they will remain sat. For one day continuously the camels sat, remained seated. They did not move an inch because of the hukam, because of the subhanallah, the power in the words of the Shaykh Khwaja Gharib Nawaz radiallahu ta'ala. It is only when they realized their mistake that we had forced a Shaykh to move away from this piece of land. We did not allow him to sit in this piece of land. It is the words that he said that our camels have remained sat. When they went to Shaykh Khwaja Gharib Nawaz rahmatullah ta'ala ali, Khwaja Gharib Nawaz rahmatullah ali, and they repented, Khwaja Gharib Nawaz rahmatullah said, because you have now repented, inshallah your camels have now stood up. When they went back, their camels had already risen. They had stood up. Subhanallah. So again, this is what happened, the incident with Shaykh Ibrahim Natbuli and the other people. So what happened? So a faqir, a Sufi, he paid attention in his heart, made tawajjuh to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Automatically the barrels of alcohol were destroyed. وَظَنَّ كُلُّ وَاحِدٍ أَنَّ صَاحِبَهُ كَسَرَ جَرَّاتَهُ. Every single one who was sat from the people who were close to the king, he thought that his friend had broken his barrel. So what happened? فَتَضَارَبُوا بِالسِّلَاحِ. They began to hit one another with weapons. Strike one another with weapons, thinking that his friend who had smashed his bottle, smashed his glass of wine, his barrel of wine. حَتَّى تَجَرَّحُوا. Until they were all wounded. وَرَكِبُوا يَشْتَكُونَ بَعْضُهُمْ بَعْضًا لِأُسْتَاذِهِمْ. Until they all went to their teacher, to their leader, to their mentor, and they all complained about one another. So automatically this is what happened, subhanAllah. They didn't speak about anything. They didn't say anything. They didn't utter anything. They didn't use their hand. Just mere tawajjuh in their heart towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Their barrels of alcohol were destroyed. فقال الشيخ هكذا فخيروا المنكر فإن مد اليد في هذه الدار ليس هو للفقير فإن مد يده قطعت. Then Shaykh Ibrahim al-Matbuli radiallahu ta'ala said, it is only in this manner that you should change a munkar, change an evil. Because if someone was to stretch his hand, was to use his force, use his power in this situation, then what would happen? فَإِنْ مَدَّ يَدَهُ قُطِعَتْ. If he was to do that, his hand would be severed. So therefore make tawajjuh in your heart. Yeah, make tawajjuh in your heart towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He will inshallah change that munkar. This is obviously for people who are kummalul arifin, who are the elite of the Gnostics, rahimahumullah ajma'in. وسمعت أخي أفضل الدين رحمه الله يقول إني لا أتعجب ممن يشتغل بإزالة منكرات الغير ولا يسعى في إزالة منكرات نفسه. Shaykh Afdaluddin rahimahullah, Imam Sha'rani says, I heard my brother Shaykh Afdaluddin rahimahullah say, I am surprised and astonished at the affair of the person who is engaged in removing the evil from the other person but does not even look at the evil within himself. मुझे उस शख्स पर ताज्जुब होता है जो दूसरे की बुराइयों को दूर करने के लिए तो मशगूल है, दूसरों के ऐब बयान करने में मशगूल है, दूसरों के ऐब बयान करता है, दूसरों के मुनकरात को उसको रोक टोक करता है, नेकी का हुक्म देता है, बुराई से रोकता है, लेकिन अपने आप को भूल जाता है. I am surprised at the one who is engaged بِإِزَالَةِ مُنْكَرَاتِ الْغَيْرِ, in removing the munkarat, the evil of the other person, yet he does not strive to remove the munkar within himself. So again, we should do both things. At the very beginning of the cover, we mentioned the importance and the obligation and the incumbents of removing evil from ourselves and from the other people, from other people. This is al-amru bil ma'ruf wa nahy al-munkar, with our nafs and with other people. وَيَهْجُرُ الْغَيْرَ لِأَفْعَالِ نَفْسِ رَضِيئَ وَإِنْ كَانَ وَاجِبًا. So, and then I'm surprised at that person who separates himself, who parts company with a person who is engaged in evil, in those actions which are evil, which he himself is indulgent. He himself is indulged in that evil, and he, seeks to part company with the other person. He points fingers at other people, they're doing this, they're doing that, but he doesn't look at himself. Even though this is وَإِن كُلُّ مِنْهُمَا كان واجبا ولكن الله تعالى ذم من ينسى نفسه ويشتغل بأمر الخلق في قوله تعالى أتأمرون الناس بالبر وتنسون أنفسكم أي وهم أقرب الأشياء إليكم. Even though both are wajib, दोनों वाजिब है. क्या वाजिब है? एक तो हम अपने से बुराई को दूर करें और दूसरे लोगों से भी बुराई को दूर करें. ये दोनों वाजिब है. These are two obligations on us. What is number one? That we reform our state, that we change, that we remove evil from ourselves, and number two, that we remove evil from other people. These are two separate obligations. One does not cancel the other one out. If you engage in removing munkar from yourself, it doesn't cancel the obligation of removing munkar from the other person. If we are engaged in removing munkarat from the other person, it does not cancel the obligation of removing munkarat from ourselves. Both are equally important and go hand in hand. Okay? However, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala condemns, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala admonishes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala denounces those people who forget themselves and they're engaged in other people's matter. They are engaged in reforming other people's state and forgetting themselves. How does Allah admonish them? Allah says, أَتَأْمُرُونَ النَّاسَ بِالْبِرِّ وَتَنْسَوْنَ أَنفُسَكُمْ. क्या तुम दूसरे लोगों को भलाई का हुक्म देते हो और अपने आप को भूल जाते हो? Do you command other people of righteousness, of good, yet you forget your own selves? أي وهم أقرب الأشياء إليكم. You forget the closest things to you. Your nafs is the closest thing to you. You forget your nafs, and then you are engaged in telling other people to pray a namaz. Again, as parents, this applies to us as well. If you want your children to be pious, if you want our children to be pious, righteous, obedient children, who obey us and obey the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then we should set precedence by us following the injunctions of Allah, by us as parents praying our namaz on time, reciting the Quran Sharif, doing righteous deeds, because it has a direct effect on our children. You can't expect your child to pray namaz when you yourself is sat in front of TV, Star Plus, Z, what's it called? B4U, India Star Plus, India Samachar, this, that and the other, flicking channels. You got bored with one channel, you flick to the other one, then you finally end up on BBC, mashallah, entertaining. And then you expect your child to open the Quran Sharif and recite the Quran and come to the masjid. It doesn't work like that. We should set precedence by us setting an example. Okay? أَتَأْمُرُونَ النَّاسَ بِالْبِرِّ وَتَنْسَوْنَ أَنفُسَكُمْ. Do we command others to do good yet we forget ourselves? We shouldn't be like that. And he also said, وَقَالَ تَعَالَى وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَفَلَا تُبْصِرُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says, in your own selves, don't you see? Don't you ponder in your own selves? Look in yourself first. Okay. This is not to say, again he mentions this later on, very, very important thing. When you tell someone, why don't you stop that other person? He is in position of authority, he has an influence. He's able to change that person from doing wrong. Stop the person from doing wrong. We say to them, why don't you do that? And he says, because I'm not good, I'm not pious, I'm not muttaqi parezgar. So again, he's missing two obligations here. He's doing two wrongs. One is he's not changing the munkar from within himself, and the other thing is he's not doing what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded him to do, which is amr bil ma'ruf and nahi anil munkar. Two things which is doing wrong. So if you can't do one, you should at least do the other. But at the same time, we should look in ourselves as well to reform our state. وَقَدْ قَالُوا تَخَلَّصْ مِنَ الْغَرْقِ ثُمَّ اشْتَغِلْ بِأَخْذِ يَدِ غَيْرِكَ هَذَا مَعَ وُجُوبِ عَزْمِكَ حَالَ غَرْقِكَ أَنَّكَ تَأْخُذُ بِيَدِ غَيْرِكَ. They give an example and they say, first and foremost, protect and save yourself from drowning. A person doesn't know how to swim, right? And he dives into the deep end without armbands, like myself. Can't swim. And he's huffing and puffing, he's panicking, and then he wants to save the other person. You can't do that. Okay? تَخَلَّصْ مِنَ الْغَرْقِ ثُمَّ اشْتَغِلْ بِأَخْذِ يَدِ غَيْرِكَ. First and foremost, learn how to swim, learn how to protect yourself and save yourself from drowning, and then help the other person. First and foremost, let's change ourselves, and then let's hold onto the hand of the other person to change that person from his state, to change the evil that he has indulged in. At the same time, having said that, مَعَ وُجُوبِ عَزْمِكَ, at the same time, if you are drowning, you should have this azm, this resolution, that inshallah Azza wa Jal, the day that you protect yourself from drowning, you will also help the other person. At the same time, if you are drowning, you should still have this in your mind, that inshallah I will help the other person. Okay? He's giving this an example. وَكَذَلِكَ الْقَوْلُ فِي الْأَمْرِ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَالنَّهِي عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ. This is the same example that runs in enjoining good and forbidding evil. اشتغل بأمر نفسك ونهيها وأنت عازم على أمر غيرك ونهيه. Engage first and foremost in commanding yourself and joining yourself towards good, forbidding yourself from evil, and at the same time having this firm resolution and yaqeen that you will also do the same to other people. ये फरमाते हैं कि पहले अपने आप में गौर करो, अपने आप को नेकी का हुक्म दो, अपने आप को बुराई से रोको, और इसके साथ साथ ये यकीन भी करो कि इंशाल्लाह मैं दूसरों को भी नेकी का हुक्म दूंगा और बुराई से रोकूंगा. ये यकीन रखना चाहिए. Yes, and when you are engaged in reforming your own state, in muraqaba, in mushahada, in mujahada, at the same time you should have yaqeen that you are going to change and reform the state of other people as well. They go hand in hand, they go together. One does not cancel the other. Do you understand? Okay? You can't say, I'm not telling my children to pray namaz, I'm not telling my wife to pray namaz because I don't pray my namaz. It doesn't work like that. Or the wife, mashallah, she's pious, she's righteous, she's on the straight path, she has God consciousness and taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. She can't then say, I don't pray my tahajjud namaz, I don't pray salatul awwabin, so I can't tell other people about that. No, everyone has this obligation. Even if, na'udhu billah, hypothetically speaking, I'm saying this hypothetically because it doesn't befit a Muslim to be a Muslim and not pray namaz. Hypothetically speaking, if a Muslim does not pray namaz, this does not cancel the other obligation of him commanding other people to pray namaz. Do you understand this? They go hand in hand. They go hand in hand. But obviously there is an effect. That is the greater effect will be when you yourself are praying your namaz and then you tell the other person to pray namaz. When you are reciting the Quran yourself and then you tell the other person to recite the Quran. When you yourself are away from munkarat and then you tell the other person to stay away from munkarat, it has a different effect. It has a powerful effect. Okay? Otherwise nowadays what happens, you tell a person, to pray namaz and he says, "Tu parni?" Oh, bamota aavi gaya. Yani, astaghfirullah, yani, we shouldn't do that. The recipient of the admonishment should not say this. He should accept this admonishment in whichever way, or shape or form it's been given to him. And nasiha should be accepted in whichever way, shape or form it's been given. But the nasih, the one giving nasiha, should obviously use some hikmah. Yeah? Start at the same time, change himself at the same time as changing other people. Okay, so then he says, وَلَيْسَ الْمَحْظُورُ إِلَّا أَن تَشْتَغِلَ بِنَفْسِكَ وَأَنْتَ عَازِمٌ عَلَىٰ أَنَّكَ لَا تَأْمُرُ غَيْرَكَ. The thing that is prohibited here is this, that you engage with yourself to you're engaged in reforming your state, you are engaging in making yourself better, but you have this firm resolution that you don't want to change other people. You can't do this. It's prohibited to do this. Change yourself, and at the same time, consecutively, at the same time, change other people. You can't say, मैं अपने आप में मसरूफ हूँ, मैं अपने आप को अच्छा बनाऊंगा, जब मैं 40, 50, 60 साल का हो जाऊंगा, जब मैं सूफी हो जाऊंगा ना, तब इंशाल्लाह मैं दूसरों को हुक्म दूंगा. You can't do that. They go hand in hand. Allahu Akbar. فأنك كمن خاف من أمره بمعروف أو نهي عن منكر ثوران نفس المأمور أو المنهي وزيادته في المعصية. It is as though you are the one who fears enjoining good or forbidding evil, that if you do so, it will increase, it will agitate, it will make the person who is being commanded to do something, or who is being forbidden to do something, you fear that he will become angry, enraged, or he will increase in a sin. You shouldn't have this mentality. Okay, you should use the hikmah. Okay, فَمِنَ السِّيَاسَةِ أَن تَتَرَقَّبَ لَهُ وَقْتًا آخَرَ. From the hikmah is that you have to use wisdom, you have to use your brain. There is a time and a place to admonish other people. For example, he says here, فَإِنَّ مَنْ كَانَ جَالِسًا يَشْرَبُ الْخَمْرَ فَصَارَ يَقُولُ لِإِنسَانٍ آخَرَ يَشْرَبُ حَرَامَ عَلَيْكَ لا يؤثر قول في ذلك الشارب بل يضحك عليه ويقول له قل ذلك لنفسك. He gives an example. If someone is drinking alcohol himself, okay, he sat there and then he says to the other person, hey, don't drink alcohol. He's intoxicated and he's had a hangover. He said, hey mate, don't drink alcohol. That guy will probably get a barrel of alcohol and then smash it on his head. He said, say that to your own self. Why are you telling me? You can't say haram alayk to me. Say haram alayk to your own self. He'll probably laugh at him. Look at him. What a hypocrite. He's not applying it to himself and telling me. So again, we should use hikmah and wisdom. Try and reform ourselves, inshallah azza wa jal, and then we become a practical example for others to follow. Even if we verbally do not admonish another person, they will see our state and they will automatically change. As the poet says, لا تنهى عن خلق وتأتي مثله. Don't forbid other people from an evil trait, whereas you do it, whereas you are indulging it. عار عليك إذا فعلت عظيم. It is a great disgrace and shame on you if you do that. You are doing something evil and then you are telling other people not to do it. ابدأ بنفسك فانهها عن غيها. Start with your own self, start with your own nafs first. Stop your nafs from its transgression, from sinning. فَإِذَا فَعَلْتَ كَذَا فَأَنْتَ حَكِيمٌ. If you do that, then you are a wise person, you are a person who's been granted wisdom. Do you understand? Your actions reflect on another person. People look at your actions more than your words. Actions speak louder than words. Do you understand? People nowadays, even when you're doing a speech, they actually examine you. They don't examine the words, they examine you. They come to you and they say, Fula, you said this, but look at what you're doing now. Last time you said you can't eat with a knife and fork. I never said that, by the way. When someone comes up to you and says, why are you eating with a knife and fork? I never said that it's haram, but I'm just saying this is the mentality of people. Yeah, they look at your actions. Halanke, we should be following this. لا تنظر إلى من قال ولكن انظر إلى ما قال. Don't look at who's saying it, look at what he's saying. Do you understand? It's a nasiha. The Prophet ﷺ said, الكلمة الحكمة ضالة المؤمن فحيث وجدها فهو أحق بها. A word of wisdom is a lost treasure of a believer. Wherever he finds it, he should take it. Do you understand? وهذا العهد يخل به كثير من الناس لأجل عدم السلامة من المنكر. Many people do not follow this covenant. Why? Because many of them are not free from evil themselves. They are engaged in evil themselves, so therefore they can't follow this covenant of enjoining good and forbidding evil. فَيَخَافُونَ أَن يُنْكِرُوا مُنْكَرًا فَيَقُولُ النَّاسُ لَهُمْ إِنْهَوْا أَنْتُمْ أَنفُسَكُمْ عَنْ كَذَا وَكَذَا. Nowadays people are afraid. यानी ये ज़माना ऐसा हो गया कि लोग अब घबरा रहे हैं, लोगों को खौफ हो चुका है कि अगर हम किसी को नेकी की दावत देंगे, नेकी का हुक्म देंगे या बुराई से मना करेंगे, तो लोग खुद हमें कहेंगे कि पहले अपने आप को बुराई से मना करो. यानी ये ज़माना आ चुका है. Imam Sha'rani talking about his time. The overwhelming majority of the people do not follow this covenant because they are not protecting themselves from evil, because they fear the day that they start to admonish people, start to enjoin people of good, forbid people from evil. People will backlash. There will be a backlash. People will, retaliate it verbally, saying, stop your own self from evil. Why are you telling me? They shouldn't say that. Unfortunately, the people are, they are very foul-mouthed. They are very audacious nowadays. You want to rectify the person. When you rectify the sin of a person, you are intending good for him. You want to change his state so that inshallah he will go in Jannah with salam. But they don't want to accept it. They say, change your own self. Then come back to me after 10 years. Allahu Akbar. وَلَوْ أَنَّهُمْ سَلِمُوا مِنَ الْمُنْكَرِ لَرُبَّمَنْ قَادَ النَّاسُ لَهُمْ. Had they protected themselves from munkarat, from evil first, then inshallah people would have automatically obeyed them. People would automatically listen to them. وَمِنْ هُنَا, it is for this reason people have said, قَالُوا لَا يَنْبَغِي لِإِنسَانٍ أَنْ يَعِظَ النَّاسَ إِلَّا إِنْ كَانَ مُتَّعِظًا قَبْلَهُمْ. It does not befit a person to admonish people before he admonishes himself first. He should admonish himself first and then admonish other people. فَلَا يَأْمُرُهُمْ بِتَرْكِ الدُّنْيَا وَيُزَاحِمُهُ عَلَيْهَا. A person who is competing with one another, vying with one another over this ephemeral world, greedy of the wealth of this world, should not, then tell other people to stop eating the dunya, stop usurping wealth, stop going in pursuit of this dunya. He should first stop this greed that he has in his heart of this dunya, and then stop other people. وَلَا يَأْمُرُهُمْ بِالصَّدَقَةِ وَيَبْخَلُ هُوَ. He should not command people to do charity, whereas he himself is a miserly person, stingy person, keeps his hands folded behind his back, doesn't give anything charity. Do Allah ki raah mein do, Allah Ta'ala ki raah mein do, meri taraf se 50 pence. It doesn't work like that. Okay? وَلَا يَأْمُرُهُمْ بِقِيَامِ اللَّيْلِ وَيَنَامُ هُوَ. He shouldn't command other people to do qiyamul layl, observe the night vigil prayer, whereas he's snoring away in his cozy memory foam mattress bed. Some people actually have them water filled mattresses, yeah, or those that you can connect to the socket and then they get warm, especially in these winter nights. So alatul, you even miss salatul fajr. Allahu Akbar. وَقِسْ عَلَى ذَلِكَ, and use analogy for other things. So we should inshallah act upon the things ourselves and then start to command other people. But again, when I say then, it doesn't mean, then does not mean after 50 years. No, it goes hand in hand together, inshallah azza wa jalla. لِأَنَّ رُؤْيَةَ النَّاسِ إِلَىٰ, I'm just going to finish with a couple of lines here. لِأَنَّ رُؤْيَةَ النَّاسِ إِلَىٰ فَعَالِهِ تَحْجِبُهُمْ عَنْ سَمَاعِ مَقَالِهِ. Because if people look at a person who is indulged in evil, his action, people's looking at his action and his akhlaq and his way of living will veil them from listening to what he says. This is why I say, when you stand for a speech, they don't listen to your speech, they look at you as a person. Yeah, this is why nasiha should be done. The ulama mentioned, if you want people to listen to you and if you want your speeches to have an influence in terms of changing and reforming the state of the people, then before you deliver the speech, turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Pray 2 rakat salah. Turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because He's muqallib al-qulub. Make this dua, Ya muqallib al-qulub, thabbit qulubana wa qulubahum ala dinik. Inshallah azza wa jal. Make me a means of them coming close to you. Not close to me, because we don't want fame, we don't want fortune, we don't want a fanboy club on Facebook and Twitter, retweets and tweet chirping all the time. Constantly. We don't want that. We want people to come close to Allah. That should be our ultimate intention. Subhanallah wa bihamdi, subhanallah. We will finish at this point. May Allah subhanahu wa allow us and give us tawfiq to do al-amr bil-ma'aruf wa nahi an munkar. Inshallah, we will continue with the rest of the covenant bi-idhni tabaraka wa ta'ala. اللهم صل على سيدنا مولانا محمد معدن الجود والكرم وآله وصحبه وبارك وسلم. اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم ربنا أفرغ علينا صبرا وتوفنا مسلمين. اللهم ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. اللهم رب اجعلني مقيم الصلاة ومن ذريتي ربنا وتقبل دعاء. ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب. اللهم إني أعوذ بك من علم لا ينفع ومن قلب لا يخشع ومن نفس لا تشبع ومن دعوة لا يسمع. اللهم آت نفسي تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها فاغفر لها. اللهم عافنا في أبداننا وأسماعنا وأبصارنا. اللهم متعنا بالسمع والبصر. اللهم استر عوراتنا وآمن روعاتنا. اللهم استرنا بسترك الجميل. اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا يا كريم. اللهم انزل السكينة والبركة ورحمة علينا وعلى هذا المجمع وعلى أهل هذا الجمع يا رب العالمين. اللهم اغفر لأمة سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم مغفرة عامة. اللهم ارحم على أمة سيدنا محمد رحمة عامة. اللهم تجاوز عن أمة سيدنا محمد. اللهم فرج عن أمة سيدنا محمد. اللهم أصلح أحوال أمة سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم اجعلنا من أمة حبيبك المصطفى سيدنا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. جزا الله عنا سيدنا مولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم ما هو أهله. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.